The lineup remained the Scottish Cup hero Dougie Arnott, who was injured in the opening match of the season. So young Paul McGrillen starts the first team match for only the second time, and he's joined in a new striking partnership by Nick Cusack, who plays his first league match of the season after withdrawing his transfer request. And it's a big occasion for the former Aberdeen stalwart Neil Simpson, who faces his old club for the first time in his career following his recent transfer to Motherwell from Newcastle United. The Aberdeen management team of Alex Smith and Jock Scott have freshened up the team after last week's shock home defeat to 10-man St Johnstone. Theo ten Cate, Willem van der Ark and Brian Grant return at the expense of Peter van de Ven, Robert Connor and Scott Booth. Stephen Wright enhanced his reputation as one of the best young players in the country with an outstanding performance for the Scotland under-21s in Switzerland in midweek, and he returns to the scene of his only first-team goal to play his 26th consecutive match. The referee this afternoon, Mr. Bobby Orr from Kilbarchan, in his 5th season as a Grade 1 official. Well, Motherwell will take on Katowice in Poland next week, while Aberdeen play 1903 Copenhagen. But any thoughts of European football banished at the moment. Both sets of players determined to get down to the very serious business of collecting league points. Motherwell lost to Hearts last week, while Aberdeen were losing to St Johnstone. So there's plenty of pressure on both clubs. There's been very heavy rain in this area this morning, and the wind is gusting overhead. It'll make life difficult for the players trying to pick out passes, especially when the ball is in the air. Bet looking for Mason inside. Tackled well by Simpson. Here's Cooper, now McGrillen. Trying to angle that through for Cusack, who's done very well battling for possession. Stopped in the end by Irvin. ten Cate has space on the left. Hustled all the way by O'Donnell. Well, it looked as though ten Cate was pulling O'Donnell back, but the referee saw that as an infringement by O'Donnell. Free kick quickly taken to Brian Grant. Gillhaus. There's Bet with a shooting chance. Angled across Billy Thompson, but I reckon the keeper had that covered. Stretching his 6'2" frame there for that shot from Bet. The Bet only had one thought in mind when he took this pass from Gillhaus, to create enough space for the shot, going wide there of McCart. There's good positioning here by Billy Thompson to make sure the ball went harmlessly wide. So both sides have opened up in 4-3-3 formations. Motherwell with Nyholt, McCart, Philibin and Griffin across the back. O'Donnell, Simpson and Angus in the middle. Cooper, Cusack and McGrillen up front. There's Cooper. Into the gap it goes, and McGrillen's a good chance for Motherwell. And the clearance is made by Irvin. Well, that was a superb opportunity for Motherwell, and Paul McGrillen, without any question, will be ruining the fact that he's a natural left-footed player, because he was trying very hard to engineer the ball onto his better foot for the shot. Gillhaus, Van der Ark had made a run across the inside right position. Nyholt, Cusack. Well challenged by ten Cate. Tackle made by Cooper. It's back with Nyholt. It's Cooper again. And now McCart. Philibin had to hurry there as Mason closed in. Griffin forcing it forward, the chase is on for Cusack. Well, there was no support for Cusack at that point. No one had come up into the middle to take a square pass, so he had to have an ambitious effort there on a tight angle. There's Brian Grant. Bet making an angle for him on the right. Good clearance that from Philibin, very precise. Picking out Griffin. Cusack resisting the challenge from Irvin to find Simpson and then Cooper. Fine piece of trickery again from Cooper. That pass picks up O'Donnell on the run. Fine play from Motherwell again. Excellent play from Phil O'Donnell, inspired by the trickery of Cooper. It was Cooper who found the space for that pass. O'Donnell had the presence of mind to realise he could let that run and then go striding forward for the left foot shot, which certainly wasn't far away. Cusack looking for Angus. Well, it's quite ironic that Motherwell have Neil Simpson and Ian Angus in their midfield, and they played so frequently in the Aberdeen engine room. Cusack helps it on. Cusack again, there's O'Donnell. Trying to find a gap, which suddenly wasn't there. Good running there by Mason. Picked out well by Bett. Still Mason with Gillhaus free over on the far side. This is Tenkat. And it's a brilliant save from Thompson. Well, what outstanding play once again from Aberdeen. A flowing move. We started inside their own half with Bett releasing Mason. He picked out Tenkat brilliantly with that pass, but the stop from Billy Thompson was very high class. Now that's Bett with the corner. It broke off Gillhaus for the goal kick. Cusack did well. Cooper going in, the chance for McGillen is offside. Flag was up as soon as Cooper made that good tackle. No complaint from McGrillen. Mason. Right. Tenkat. Van der Ark getting up well, but Gillhaus had come in too close to him. This is Davy Cooper. Gets some help from Niholt. O'Donnell's in space in the middle of the field. They're trying to drive at the Aberdeen defence. Good run by Angus in the middle, less space for McGrillen on the left. Cooper beaten to that by Grant. Cooper wins it back very fairly. Well, he's very upset with that cross, Cooper. He's given himself the space and the time to deliver a very accurate ball, and he will be very disappointed that he failed to do anything more significant than play it right into Snelders. There's Griffin. Good play by McGrillen. This is Simpson. Interception made neatly by Irvin. Shot across by Grant for McKimmie. Here's Van der Ark. Very awkward ball, in comes Gillhaus! The opening goal for Aberdeen! 29th minute of the match, and the referee going across to check on Gillhaus, who injured himself in the process. It was a great ball, this from Willem van der Ark, high beyond Billy Thompson. Gillhaus coming in, getting up so well in front of the defender and powering the ball home. Well, he seemed to damage his arm as he perhaps collided with the post. But such an intelligent ball played in there by Van der Ark. That exposed the Motherwell defence, allowed Gillhaus the chance to score his third goal of the season. Mason playing it against Griffin. Here's O'Donnell going in late on Grant. Free kick taken quickly by Grant. Here's Bett. Into space it goes to Van der Ark. Sullivan nudging the ball back to the goalkeeper, and the Aberdeen supporters felt that he pushed Van der Ark off the ball. O'Donnell trying to get that beyond Connor for Cooper. This is Gillhaus, stopped by Simpson. Simpson takes over again. Jock coming inside. This is Mason. Now for Gillhaus on the left. Aberdeen taking some inspiration from that opening goal. Gillhaus trying to set up a second. And Van der Ark was inches away from that cross. Oh, great relief there for Billy Thompson goal. The ball going across the 6-yard box. Motherwell now trying to build up an attack of their own in the break. Here's Angus running away from Grant, setting up for Grillen. Oh, throw to Aberdeen. It really was fine play by Gillhaus. A little bit of deception there to get to the byline and then pull the ball across the 6-yard box, looking for Van der Ark. It's good play by Cusack. Here's Cooper taking on Connor, looking for McGrillen inside the box. That is a great save from Snelders. Well, a real quality there of Theo Snelders, so important to Aberdeen. It was a beautifully conceived move this from Motherwell. Davy Cooper looking up as he came inside onto that left foot, spotting McGrillen peeling off his marker. And the little forward got up so well with his downward header, it got a magnificent save from Snelders. This is Simpson. Very strong in possession, Neil Simpson. Phillips to Angus. Cusack calling for the ball in the inside right position. He's the target. And Connor colliding there with Cusack, who had a chance there with that loose ball in the turn. The Motherwell players protesting bitterly to the referee that Cusack was fouled by Connor while the ball was in the air. And there is some possible justification for that view as the ball was played in by Angus. Cusack and Connor collided, and that turned out to be a snap chance for Cusack in the end. Well, Motherwell making a supreme effort towards the end of the first half to get back in level terms before they face their manager Tommy McLean. But they'll have to do so now. It's been a very good first half with both sides contributing hugely to the entertainment. But the only goal came in the 29th minute, when Willem van der Ark broke on the right, lofted a very dangerous ball across the face of the goal. Hans Gillhaus came flying in to give Aberdeen the first half lead. It's Motherwell 0, Aberdeen 1. Despite being a goal down at half-time, it's significant that Motherwell get a very warm welcome from their supporters for their arrival on the pitch for the second period, and that reflects some first-class football in the first half. It was a game of real quality, and certainly one which a lot of critics say you can't see too often in the Premier Division. But Motherwell looking so impressive early on, Aberdeen settling to their task at the midway point before going ahead. But with both sides using 4-3-3 formations, it's made for some entertaining football and totally free of any malice so far. Let's hope it stays that way. O'Donnell breaking, that was for Angus. And Irvin stood his ground there, doing well for Aberdeen. Ball hooked forward there by McCart. Cusack going in on it, looking up to see who's supporting. Angus was there, and that was a great tackle from Brian Irvin. Tremendous defending by Irvin. Motherwell appeared to have exposed the Aberdeen defence until Irvin stepped in with a challenge. Angus now has Griffin going outside him. Clearance from Irvin. Angus nudging it back for Phillips. Here's Angus again. Now McCart trying to get that beyond 10 catch for O'Donnell. It's cut off now by Nyholt for Motherwell. Simpson showing a determination, his strength and his skill. Trying to get that shot on target. Here's Davy Cooper. And O'Donnell. Snelders is committed, he's in trouble now. Well, what a great save it was from Snelders in the end. Just knocking the ball away from the right boot of Jim Griffin at the last moment. Perhaps an error of judgment initially by the big keeper, but he saved the day himself. Fine play from Cusack. A lot of players out there having very good matches. Cusack certainly has done well in his return to first team league duty. Thompson will have to go again for this. There's Gillhaus with a chance. And to Motherwell's relief, the ball has gone wide of the target, but Billy Thompson must be the most relieved player on the field. Well, hope his hearing is not too clever, because there's certainly some comments coming from the dugout here. He tried to walk out of his box and thump the ball full of clear against Gillhaus, then lost possession completely, and that really is a very bad miss in the end by Gillhaus. Gillhaus' free kick hanging in the air, attacked by Cusack. This is O'Donnell. Good running by Nyholt, playing it in early. It came off McKimmie. All the supporters getting behind their favourites. They recognise a big effort is being made. Cooper firing it in. The header came from McCart, and McGrillen couldn't turn in the 6-yard box. Well, a glimmer of a chance for young Paul McGrillen there. Still looking to open his first team account. The little striker. We're very pleased with his overall performance though so far in the match. Here's Cooper. Cooper holding off Gillhaus. Breaks back for McGrillen, trying to go outside right. That's a fine tackle by the young fullback. Retains his composure at all times. There's Mason. Right. Phillips tackling Van der Ark. Brian Grant busting clear now from midfield. Gillhaus staying wide on the left. Attacking Nyholt. Cut off by Simpson. Cusack doing well, showing lots of mobility this afternoon. Followed across by McKimmie. The decision goes Aberdeen's way. Bet going deep to take possession for Aberdeen. Well, offering an apology to Hans Gillhaus on the left wing. Bet. Nudged past Gillhaus by O'Donnell. Cooper. Casual with that pass. Bet certainly wasn't. He's 10 cat. Gillhaus promising now for Van der Ark. And it's touched over the bar by Thompson. Well, a goal with the Dutchman involved all the way. Gillhaus and Ten Cat with that delightful pass into the path of Willem van der Ark, who thought only in terms of a shot at goal, and Thompson got that vital touch. There's going to be a Motherwell substitution. Davy Cooper has done enough for the afternoon. He is going off to be replaced by Steve Kirk. Well, a super sub of the Scottish Cup campaign. Getting a chance to do the same sort of devastating work in the league. 15 minutes of the match remaining. 1-0 to Aberdeen. Corner going inside, chased now by Kirk. Well, Corner quite content to retain possession. He now has Grant in support. That was intended for Van der Ark. Nyholt will make sure it runs for the throw. Cusack beautifully on to Simpson. Now Kirk. McGrillen's on the left. Good play from Motherwell. And McGrillen gets the better of Stephen Wright. A chance on for Motherwell now. And Steve Kirk was the player who gave the angle to McGrillen. He chose to try to find Neil Simpson inside the box. What an opportunity that was. That's well collected by Grant in midfield. Aberdeen now going for the kill, looking for the second goal to tie things up. Here's Gillhaus. The chance is on for Hans Gillhaus, but it's good goalkeeping again from Billy Thompson. As Gillhaus broke through the Motherwell defence at pace, Thompson timed his challenge perfectly to win possession with that diving save. Here's Cusack again. Nyholt coming forward as supports in midfield, looking for Steve Kirk. Good clearance that by Irvin. Billy Thompson coming for the sortie. That's perhaps the safest place for that ball to allow him to get back into his goal. Time running out for Motherwell. Redoubling their efforts now, try to end something to the match. A very hefty collision there involving Simpson and Tenkat. Both down on the touchline. Two totally committed players there going for the ball. So Bart Verhoer there waiting to come on for Motherwell. Substitute. Tommy McLean there directing traffic and waiting to see if Simpson fully recovers. And the decision is taken to keep Simpson in the dugout and send on Verhoer. And for Aberdeen, Peter van de Ven and Scott Booth go on, replacing Paul Mason, and the other player going off is Theo Tenkat, who took that injury. So Verhoel goes across to the left side of the Motherwell attack. Here's Griffin. Irvin coming to meet that. Verhoel underneath it. Oh, very talented player on his left side. Griffin to Nyholt. Snelders is committed. And McCart doing a bit of barging there into the goalkeeper. Chris McCart, the skipper, trying to lead by example. This big effort to save the game. Guilty of a barge into Snelders. Pushing there by Booth on Angus. Cusack the target. Kicked there by Irvin as he fell over, and Verhoel getting a bit zealous there going in on Irvin, but it seemed as though that was accidental. I thought Irvin making a challenge there for the ball because Cusack had fallen over, and that's why he became an easier target. Brian Irvin gets a word of warning from the referee, who happily is not required to take out a yellow card all afternoon. Pleased to see he's managed to keep that record. There was Cusack, who fell over as he leaned into Irvin. Irvin trying there to play the ball, I reckon, caught the side of Cusack's head. Well, there's no Davy Cooper at the moment to orchestrate this. Steve Kirk and Ian Angus over the ball. Indirect it is. Dangerous play, decision of the referee. Well, the wall certainly isn't anything like 10 yards away. That's what Steve Kirk is saying to the referee. Well won by Van de Ven. There's Kirk. Stopped well by Bet. Fine play by Bet. Tackle there came from Nyholt on Booth. And the referee is going to take some action here. He's listened, I think, to too many complaints verbally from Steve Kirk. So he's conveying the message quite clearly to the Motherwell player. We're going into time added on for stoppages now. Looks as though it may be too late for Motherwell. And it looks as though Steve Kirk has continued the debate with the referee. And he's going to be the first player in the match to be booked in the 90th minute. Kurt will certainly come to regret this if it means at some stage that he faces a period of suspension. A rather unsavoury end to what has been a fine match, full of good football. Here's Angus. McCart to Bardoul. Here's Griffin, driving forward from midfield for Motherwell. O'Donnell is also up with him. Cusack through the middle. No way past Connor that time. McKinney with a headed clearance. Here's Gillhaus. That's out of play. But desperation time now for Motherwell. We've had more than a minute of injury time. There hasn't been much by way of a stoppage apart from that Cusack head injury. Griffin. Back now with McCart. Corner's header picked up by Van de Ven. There's Gillhaus. And the referee Bobby Orr brings a fine match to an end. Aberdeen picking up two very hard-fought points. And Motherwell clearly disappointed to put so much into the game and take nothing from it. That was because of Hans Gillhaus' strike in the 29th minute of the match. His header from Willem van der Aart's cross. But a lot of good football on show this afternoon. Motherwell will play infinitely worse and win, I reckon, this season. But Aberdeen showing the kind of controlled polish they've demonstrated so frequently to pick up two valuable points. The time up, Motherwell 0, Aberdeen 1.
Alec, a disappointing defeat last week, back in the rails today. You freshened up the team. Were you happy with the overall effect?
Yes, I was very pleased with it, Jock. I felt we played well. We got back to our normal passing game again, and we were well organised, and we played a lot of good football.
You had a lot of strength not on the pitch today. What was the thinking behind the changing of the team?
Well, I felt after last Saturday we had to try and change things around slightly and give them a wee challenge and give them a lift, and we went that way today for that purpose. And we had really to get back to our normal fluent game, and I felt we did that today.
Premier Division takes some criticism. Would you accept that that first half performance reflected well in both teams?
I felt the first 45 minutes was an excellent game of football. Both teams tried to play the game. Both teams got the ball down and made good passes, and of course you had exceptional players on the park that could slice a pass through the defences, and there was quite a bit of excitement because of that.
So 2 good points today, but Europe coming up in midweek, and that obviously is very important to Aberdeen's whole season, is it not?
Yes, we need. It's important that we do get a run in Europe. We need to get through this one. We've watched them, and they're a good side, and we're going to have to be our best to get to the next stage.
Will that mean some perhaps other changes in the side for that particular purpose?
Yes, well, we'll look at it from that point of view, Jock. But in the last couple of years in Europe, we have done very well at home without getting an end product to a game. We've really got to look to play the same kind of game as we did today and get the end product to go to Copenhagen with the necessary goals.